we got a long one. We might as well just get her going, because I think by the time we get done talking about everything today, we're gonna be here for a little while.
Yeah, I would agree with that, sir. There's been a lot going on.
A lot going on. We haven't really talked about any of it, so we're gonna shoot it straight, just right between us here, and see how we're feeling.
It's gonna be hard to remember all the shit that's gone on lately, but I'm sure it'll come to us.
It'll come to us.
All right. I guess with that said, this is Ohio Wrestlecast number
20. This is 20. This is it.
Right. Shit.
And I think we talked about 10 trying to do something big for it, and we didn't.
No.
And now 20, we probably should have. But I mean, we don't have a big theme or a guest or anything like that. But we do have a whole hell of a lot to talk about wrestling wise.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, and we actually say we don't do a lot of current product, because they don't age very well, We're sitting there talking about oh man, Monday Night Raw this last week. Nobody
Who wants
really
to listen to that
right for one in May, or next year.
Yeah,
we didn't get to what are they talking about? Monday Night Raw in May. Who gives a shit?
No, you're right.
But in this last, since we recorded this last month of October has been a wild month for wrestling. So I think we got a lot of meat on the bone today.
For sure. The big question is where to start.
Well, we can start by talking about what's going on since, and why we're here is that the subscriber count's going through the roof.
That's true.
Kicking ass, and we thank you all very, very much for that.
Welcome to all the new people, I guess.
Well, I think some of the footage that we shot with Demolition, One Man Gang, Bob Baruch, brought a lot of the old school fans in, which is great. That's what it's there for, and then hopefully they stick around and really enjoy what we're doing. I think we've pumped out some really good shows. I really, really enjoyed doing the show last month with the we covered our MCW 10-year anniversary DVD.
That was an OWC event.
It's got a lot of my old friends talking. I actually was in the locker room not too long after that. We had our boy Jabari. We talked about the match with Jessica. He remembered some of that stuff.
Nice.
And, man, we it's caught a lot of buzz.
I think I heard a rumor it's sparking an MCW reunion.
We're gonna call that a rumor for now.
Okay.
As we're here in early November, we're gonna call it a rumor, because I don't want to confirm yay or nay on anything, and then have it not go through. I don't want to be the liar.
No, I get that.
Group, but there is definitely some interest brewing, which is a really good thing, and I think showing that DVD, talking about it, sharing some old stories, stirred up a lot of interest amongst some old friends, so I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is.
But we can also talk about what we got right in front of us, man.
Yeah, I keep looking at it. It looks so pretty.
It's very, very pretty. The merch is now available, correct, for purchase.
Yep, teespring.com/store/OWC. If you can't remember that or anything, just go to the Facebook page. It's on there.
Go to the Facebook page. We've seen it. The Facebook page shared it today. I shared it myself personally, and we'll continue to do so because the merch is looking awesome. We have our OWC T-shirt. This will be the last time you'll see it here on the end of the table, because after this, it's going to be on my body because this is looking good. We got coffee mugs. We got stickers. We got what else? We got
a hoodie on there. Yeah, what'd you think of the old school?
Oh, with the WrestleMania font? Yeah, which I actually had a Wilburmania shirt made prior with the similar font, so I'm a huge fan of that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I almost took the Ohio Wrestlecast font from the VHS tape Photoshop cover.
Yes, with John Thomas, who got a negative review from Kiana on YouTube.
Yes, he did. He did.
But that font is really cool, man. That's the nostalgia.
I'm thinking if I can somehow blow that picture up enough for it to still be high quality, or at least good quality. I'm thinking about putting it on like a pink T-shirt.
Oh, that would be sweet.
That'd be cool.
That would be sweet.
If I have to, I'll re-edit it on a bigger image if I have to.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully, man, this gets some positive reviews. Please, by all means, pick up a shirt, and if you do, we will personally thank you and say hey. And I think we try to get some of our stuff available at my merch tables on the indie shows. Oh, yeah. And if there's any designs that you guys like, I mean, we're kind of straight shooting right here about it. If you have a design you think would be really cool, think of nostalgia from your past. We have a WrestleMania font shirt. Of course, this is borrowed from the NWO. Anything else that you could think of that would be cool? I mean, that we can have some fun with it and maybe make a design especially for you and get that out there.
Oh yeah, we'll take submissions.
The Wrestlecast is we're picking up some steam, and I think that's why we're overdue to sit down and talk some wrestling today.
Yeah, we are.
So I mean that's probably where we'll start talking about where we've been, what we've been doing, but so much to talk about. I think probably the biggest story is well, I guess it's being called the Wednesday Night War. I'm giving little finger quotes on that.
Yeah.
But it is cool to have wrestling, on head to head again, which is something that we, of course, all grew up on with Raw and Nitro.
Yeah.
This being AEW Dynamite, having their live show Wednesday at 8, and NXT being a 2-hour program now on USA. But I'll let you just kind of take the reins. Which one have you been watching more of? Do you try to watch both?
Well,
you don't have live cable, so it's not.
I don't.
So everything is going to be catching up later. I have Hulu Plus where I can watch one of them live.
Okay.
They'd both be available for me like the next day.
Yeah.
But that being said, though, you still have to choose which one you'd want to watch first. So which one do you usually choose?
I mean, I watch AEW. I don't think I've watched a full episode of NXT since it's been on USA. I mean, I watch Monday and Friday now for SmackDown and Raw. But I haven't missed an episode of AEW. I don't exactly watch it live all the time because I usually just find some place to stream it. But usually it's like the next day or whatever. There's been a lot of wrestling this week.
There's a lot of wrestling
so it
this
took
month.
me a couple days to watch
Yeah.
AEW, and I just watched SmackDown this morning.
Well, yeah, which is a good,
and it's Monday
episode.
So.
And the thing is, I agree with you on that. And it's not because even that I like AEW more, but it is that it's something new.
Yeah.
And that it's very easy to be opinionated on. Whereas NXT, man, look, here's the thing: is everything I watch has been good, but we know it's going to be good. It's almost,
I know I'm missing out because I do catch clips, and every now and then I will check out a little bit of it, or I'll watch like This Week on WWE.
If NXT is your favorite restaurant down the road, but then a new restaurant opens up across the street,
it's fresh
and it's fresh and it's new, and they're offering you something new every week, like, you know what I mean? There's a new special. You know full well that you could always go across the street and get your favorite burger at your favorite restaurant. That's NXT.
And I have WWE Network, so I could always just watch it.
Always fire it
later.
up. Yeah.
But do they still show it on the network?
They still have it on the network. I don't know if it's live.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Okay, then how soon does it go on the network after it's live?
I haven't been watching it on the network because I have that Hulu where I can.
Okay.
Where, which maybe I should do on the network because there's still ads on Hulu being on the live show.
That's true.
But I do. I'll follow. I'll see what happened on NXT, and there's been a lot of great matches this last month.
There's been a lot of stuff. Finn Balor went heel.
That was joining NXT was huge in the first place, and then the heel turn and the explanation has been very good. NXT, everything I've seen over there has been really good. But you're right. I actually watch the full episodes of AEW because there's, I want to take it in. I want to, again, it's that fresh new product, right? Yeah. Or maybe not, and I think that's
why you're investing.
Yeah,
should I?
And I don't think we need to talk about every single episode, break it all down. But I do want to talk about the first episode. We'll get back to that. So you watched that debut episode of AEW. What did you think as a whole?
Well, let's see. What was that, like a month ago?
It was a month ago. Yeah, yep. Well, they just had week 5 last Wednesday. So, but it's been a bit of, but the first week was about a month ago.
Okay. I mean, honestly, it was about what I expected. It wasn't anything too crazy, but it wasn't disappointing. I liked it. They still didn't have much to work with, but they did throw their names out there. I was surprised. You didn't see Moxley till like the very end, I think. If he was even
Moxley there. On that show, the first episode. I know the closing angle it was Jericho and I don't even know what their actual name, but LAX, Ortiz and Santana.
Oh, they're
against. The Bucks and Omega. Yeah, it was Moxley ran in at the end. Moxley ran in and took out Omega in that match.
What do they call themselves? Not the in crowd, but
they're the Inner Circle. Is the whole stable. But them as a tag team have a different name now, and I don't know. I still just call them LAX.
Yeah, I'm still not clear on certain people. Like those guys. I don't know what they actually call themselves, but they wear the green and the black, like full on stuff. They look like motocross dudes. I call them the motocross dudes.
Yeah. Well, there's the Dark Order. With Stu Grayson and Evil Uno, and then Angelico and Jack Evans are a team that usually I think wear the green and black.
Yeah, that's.
But yeah, that first episode, I remember. I was very satisfied with that as a debut episode. I thought they did a really good job, to be honest with you. We'll talk about this. That was where they opened with Sammy Guevara and Cody, and I thought it was a good match. And I like the idea where Shivani was in the ring to interview Cody, and I wish that's something they would do, like the UFC does, where they interview you post-fight.
Yeah, that is
I
cool.
thought that might be something they would go with. It's a more sports like oriented theme, like big match. Let's get Shivani in the ring and like kind of talk to him about it.
I think they would, considering how they're trying to make it more sport.
And that would be completely different. Well, that had Jericho jumping him, and it was a good beatdown segment. But that's something I thought like, hey, that might be their thing, and they haven't really done that.
Not too much.
There was a lot that felt like old WCW Nitro, which I don't think is actually a bad thing either.
The look of it.
Yeah,
has a very WCW look.
It looks. I mean, it looks big and colorful, and vibrant. It draws you in.
Yeah.
I think they do that pretty well as a production value. Where when you turn that on for the first time, it looks exciting. Nitro did too. It had a cool set. Had a lot of pyro and fireworks. Had the Nitro Girls, which as a purist wrestling fan, doesn't do a lot, but if you're just tuning in for the first time and you see, big set, pyro, girls dancing, the announcers are excited, like it kind of draws you in.
It seems like the real deal too. Like it just gives that feel. Yeah,
it's a place that you want to be. I thought the debut episode was pretty good. There was only a couple things that I wasn't a huge fan of, but it had me intrigued where I was like, and they definitely won the ratings battle the first week, as they should. It's a brand new product. Again, we know what we're getting out of NXT. So
there's a lot of hype around.
The curiosity is going to bring you in, if anything else. Jake Hager, Jack Swagger debuted on that episode. Was kind of the big surprise towards the end.
Yeah, smart move selling him as like the undefeated in MMA. Jake.
Smart. Put him. Talk about how good he is doing. It builds him up as a badass even further.
For sure. And he's not really doing much too, which kind of like builds the mystique, even though a lot of us are aware of him.
Well, and here's the other thing that's good for him is that the roster, I mean, wrestling in general, guys are getting smaller, which is fine, great athletes. And he's still a big dude, 6'6", and in the mid 200 pounds, and he looks like a monster compared to these guys. So that'll add to his believability as a badass.
He's an older guy too now. He's not like a young baby face looking guy anymore, so that helps too. He's got the beard.
Yeah.
So that adds some grizzle to him, because before, like, I just thought he was silly looking before.
He looks kind of goofy, where it's like, even though this guy's a legitimate badass, like he just looks so goofy where it was kind of hard to take him seriously.
You'll like this reference. The dude from American Vandal, like, on steroids. Like,
he did look like dopey. From the Wayback Crew. It's funny. So yeah, man, but it had me intrigued, and I've watched AEW first every week and watched pretty much all of it so far. And I'll say this now, I'm waning interest on it. And before we get, because when we did our All Out review, there's a whole lot of negativity involved. So I'm trying to watch this without a negative attitude going forward, but I think a lot of the things that we talked about would be real problems are starting to show its head. Like we talked about how not really their fault, but the pickings of getting a roster, it's thin right now.
Yeah.
WWE kind of has everybody, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, a prime example is they gave Riho the women's title. She's so tiny.
Yeah, and there's a giant bulldozer outside of your house.
You see what it looks like around here. It's not old, or it's not.
They gave Riho the title over Nyla Rose. I think as a whole, like, I don't even think they should have a women's division. I just don't. Like, they don't
have a big enough division.
They don't have the depth in the roster, and I don't think the depth they have is all that talented. I'm not entertained by Riho at all.
Yeah.
I think Britt Baker has been pretty good, and she definitely has the most marketable look. Like, good looking chick, looks kind of like a star.
Yeah.
If you didn't know that she's a dentist, they only tell you 50 times an episode.
Oh, she's a dentist?
Yeah, exactly. See, no. Well, I try to tune out Jim Ross as much as I can too. But she would be their most marketable star, and they gave that match with her and Riho away already, which had, because I'm thinking like, well, maybe Riho hasn't had the right opponents yet, and like they're building this as a big match. So I watched that match with high anticipation. I thought it was terrible.
Yeah, I thought
it was absolutely terrible. I don't think they have the depth right now. And as I talked to a friend, my last indie show, we were talking about how women's wrestling on the indies in general is just rough right now because everybody who's good is signed. The WWE wants to get a hold of them. So now there's less women that are experienced, that can give these new young up and coming girls a good match and teach them. Like even like the Mia Yims of the world that's in NXT.
Yeah.
Mia Yim has been around a really long time, and she's a good worker. I don't think she's ever going to be on the level of the Beckys and Charlottes and Baileys and Sashas or anything like that. But she's a very, very good worker. She was great to have on the independent scene for a chick that's coming up that's pretty good that could teach these girls, teach them how to work. There's like nobody out there anymore, and I think it's showing in AEW where they're bringing over Japanese girls that we don't know who they are, so it's tough to identify and sympathize. Anyways, yeah, it's a hurdle already, and there's no name value females out there, and there's the talent itself just isn't that great. Everybody who's worth anything has already been picked up.
Yeah, there's no real standout female. Like I can't even remember half their names aside from like Britt Baker.
Yeah. B. Priestley,
that's another one.
who has a cool look about her.
Yeah,
like
on Instagram. That's mostly why I remember.
She comes out, and I'm like, oh, okay. At least there's a look. At least there's something. But I remember, seeing they had like a tag match where it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
And okay, great, you had a cool look, but you kind of lost me. Like so, if you got me, now you lost me because the talent level isn't there.
No, you're right.
I think that's a problem. We knew that would be a problem coming in. That just there's not a whole lot of. There's not a lot to pick from anymore. No. A couple years ago, there definitely would have been.
Well, I mean, there's 3 brands now that WWE is picking and choosing for. Well, they're even putting, like, moving them all around.
Oh, yeah.
Toys.
Yep. And they have that luxury to do so. Which is why, I don't think this will ever be a real war. I mean, even if AEW is winning right now, it's winning against the C team. I mean, and it's not really NXT has tons and tons of talent.
Yeah,
but it's not
the C team or the A team.
Monday Night Raw has been around for over 25 years. SmackDown's been around for 20 years. NXT is their third brand, and they can pluck and bring a Finn Balor down anytime they want.
Yeah, I mean, this week's episode of SmackDown is a perfect example of why you're right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but
so I don't think it ever really will be a war. But that being said, I mean, I'm hoping that AEW generates buzz. I'm hoping that there's growth.
I think there can be a war. I don't think it's a war right now. I think they're trying to make. I think AEW is trying to make it seem like a war because it makes.
Why wouldn't you? Why would you? Yeah. I mean, if you're coming in, I guess I must be hungry for a hamburger. But if you're bringing in Mark's, fast food hamburger joint, you're not going to sit there and say like, well, we're not as good at it as McDonald's. Don't think that we are.
Yeah.
But we're pretty good too. Come and try us. No, you're going to be like, fuck McDonald's. We're way better, even if you're not. And everybody's opinion will be better. There's some people that will probably like it more, but some people that won't. But you're going to tell everyone, no, we're way fucking better than McDonald's.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. Aren't you tired of McDonald's? And I mean, that's kind of what AEW's doing. It's like, well, we're better than those guys.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
You don't know it yet, but you will because we're better.
Even good old JR's saying shit about it.
Well, he has to.
And he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and he's an employee. I mean, on top of it all.
Did you see that shirt he released on Pro Wrestling Tees?
I did not. No.
He was quoted. Seth Rollins said, called them the minor leagues. And then he said,
maybe he'll be over his girlfriend one day, which is,
he'll be over his girlfriend. He put that on a t-shirt and he's selling it on Pro Wrestling Tees. I almost bought it.
Yeah. Jim Ross right now on his podcast has actually been great because as Conrad calls it, he's got a case of the red ass. Like he's just grumpy, cantankerous old fuck, and it's the most entertaining he's ever been. Yeah. But no, you have to. You have to go out there, and Jim Ross is as recognizable as anybody else on that show.
Oh, for sure.
So if you're going to be that, would you stop, Walt?
Yeah, he's at it. Go lay down.
I'm telling you.
Go lay down.
If you're a recognizable face of pro wrestling, you need to be ambassador for that company and say this. No, listen, this is why we're going to be the fucking real deal.
No.
And they should believe it. There is lots and lots of room for improvement, though. I think we could agree.
And again, like to go back to the Monday Night Wars thing, I don't think it's a war right now, but I think it could be. Like, give it 5-10 years, 16-year-old kids will have grown up a little bit. They've gone into wrestling school, and they're kicking ass. They're going to be able to fucking swoop in there and get people. I mean, they got the money to do that.
They absolutely have the money.
It's not about not being able to pay them.
No.
It's about being able to get to them first.
Get to them first. You're right. Where if there was, say, as we talk, like the NFL is the NLBL for football, and there's been other sub-leagues that never is the NFL. But if if there was another league that was right on par, or not on par yet, but a little more exciting and paid a little better and gave you more insurance, so now you're this top-notch quarterback coming out of college, you're like, I have options. I don't really want to go to the NFL. I don't want to go here.
They keep doing as well as they are now, even though the ratings have gone down since the first episode I heard.
Which, of course, it will. It's going to, you know.
But, I mean, if they keep going at this pace and caring as much as they do, and they keep having Tony Khan doing press conferences after everything, which I think is another cool thing. Yeah. Everything has a press conference after, which I'm like, very cool. I like it. Adds a real feel to everything. But as long as they keep that up, dude, I think they have a real shot at being...
They do care. I don't know if it's, less Tony Khan, Kenny Omega, and the Bucks, or more the AEW fan, like the hardcore fan base, where it's annoying and probably short-sighted to not admit faults, to not be open to, no, there's a lot of shit that you could do better. And you don't have to do it all at once. Yeah. But there's a lot of shit that you could do better. Again, we're talking about the women's division. Like, I don't see it right now. In fact, when they put a women's match on, I'm not interested. I don't really want to watch it. NXT is the exact opposite. Yeah. Baszler is incredible. Yeah. She's so fucking good. No. I'm not really big on Bianca Belair, but she's done really well lately. Rhea Ripley is awesome.
I like Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley is awesome, and they
just
had
a little bit I've seen.
They had I don't know if you've seen that women's tag match with the Kabuki Warriors against Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai. Oh my gosh, it was a great match.
I gotta start watching that.
Yeah, so the women's division, Candice LeRae and Io Shirai. I mean, the women's division just in NXT, the third brand, is fucking great. When they're on, you should see it. And they actually build up to a women's War Games match coming up for the next takeover before Survivor Series. It's night and day. Now, and again, that's not to say that AEW is doing it all wrong. It really just starts with they don't have the players. They don't have the pieces yet. Yeah. And it's, like you said, it might take a long time to develop them. Or if somehow Charlotte is pissed with her contract and wants to go see what else is out there, that would be a huge coup for them. Yeah. But right now, it's just not there. And the fact that they're trying to present it as being there, they had a segment on the last episode. It was a 2-segment women's match. So like a 12-minute women's match of 2 females that they'd never had on TV before. Yeah. That's not smart. Because if you want to give me 2 new ones, you got to put one over strong in 5 minutes. Get me my, make the action hot out of the gate.
Walter, what the fuck are you even barking at? There's nothing there.
The bulldozer that's been going back and forth.
You're driving me crazy. Lay down, you crazy ass. Sorry, people.
Apologies. Walter, we're having a good conversation, and you're ruining it. He's actually looking at me sternly now, like, okay, I'm listening.
He loves the AEW women's division.
Yeah, he's getting fired up about it. We've been shitting on it for a few minutes now. But that's not just with the women, but that if you're trying to debut some characters and you want one of them to be over and look strong, it doesn't have to be 50-50 all the time. And I think that's another kind of side note I want to get on with them. But especially when you're debuting 2 brand new female characters, no, make one of them be the one I got to watch where the other one can still look good. Get some things in. Yeah. But make one, they're like, the one I got to look for. I don't remember either their names. I don't know who won because none of it really felt like it mattered. It just feels like a match.
No, I couldn't tell you their names right now.
That's not, then what's the point of having it?
No, you're right.
And that's not good.
That's what you do for squash matches. You bring in people that nobody's ever seen before. But
when you're out there for 3 minutes, still give them something. Give them 2 spots that, hey, go out there and make this look good.
Make them look good too, but they know they're there to do a job.
Right, exactly. They don't do that there. They haven't done that really at all in AEW, and I think it's a bad thing.
It's another thing I know. They started doing the picture-in-picture ads, like WWE does. They started doing that.
I have trouble following it. Like it kind of.
I kind of just tune out for it. I just see it as there's an ad. I'd rather them just roll ads just for do the less thing. Time.
I do too. I'm not watching the small picture. I'd probably dick around on my phone until it's done. Yeah. Exactly. It's not gonna keep me there.
We're not streaming video games here. We're not doing. There's not people here. Yeah. Like, stupid.
I mean. Here's the other issue I feel with AEW. Now, their model is right now, and again, this isn't their fault. They haven't been around enough to establish a whole fucking network where they can build their stuff to. Because NXT can give you good matches, and then they're going to build to their takeover special, which is going to be on the network anyway. So, like, goddamn, you better believe I'm going to watch that.
Yeah.
AEW is doing the traditional format of trying to build to the pay-per-view, and they're advertising big-time pay-per-view matches. But the thing is, you can watch that show every single week and get great wrestling matches. And normally that's a good thing, but I think it's a little too much of a good thing, because why am I going to drop 40 or 50 bucks when I'm getting solid 15, 20-minute matches every single week for free?
Yeah.
And again, when we talk about that 50-50 booking, no, like, establish that Kenny Omega is your top star. All right? I mean, the match with Joey Janela I thought was actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, I'll give you, yeah.
But why? What, don't do that now. And if you don't want to put Joey Janela in a spot where he's losing in 6 minutes, do it with somebody else. There's tons of good independent talent out there that you can go out there. Kenny Omega versus this good indie guy. I could pick you 10 of them just here in the Northeast Ohio, Pittsburgh area.
Yeah.
That could go out there and give a good fight. And they were in Pittsburgh. There's a lot of good indie talent there that you could pick a guy out 5-6 minutes.
They were in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, 5-6 minutes with Kenny Omega. Just make Omega look good, get his shit in, establish why he is your superstar against a young guy. And again, if the young guy get one or two things,
Yeah, who would appreciate the hell of it? Would love to put on a good match with Kenny Omega on TV.
Exactly.
You never know. They might even be a breakout star after that. Sign him. You got another fucking star on your
So, but instead they have a 15-minute match with Joey Janela, which again was a good match. I liked it.
Yeah.
But Joey Janela has nothing going on at the pay-per-view.
No, they're not building him up to have.
You're not building him up to have anything, but you still wasted 15 minutes of TV time because to ultimately get where you need to go, that Kenny Omega is a great wrestler and he's going to a big-time match with Moxley. Okay.
Yeah.
But you took up 15 minutes of time, and doesn't really help Joey Janela any, because you stuck with him. That's awesome, but it really hurts Omega more than it helps Janela, because it's not like Janela's going into, well, man, he took Kenny Omega right to the limit, so now he's going to be ready for that big match with Adam Page at the
Yeah.
No, there's nothing.
No.
There's 15 minutes of a match for the sake of having a match. There's nothing.
That's partially on I think the commentary team too, right? Because I mean, they should be talking about. They should be connecting those dots. They should at least, like, if this is what we're gonna get, Joey Janela and Kenny Omega, they should at least like try to make that build something.
I mean, I think they tried to build it that it was a big deal for Janela. It was a big spot for him.
Yeah.
So they did try to put that over, but again, is the ultimate model is they're trying to make their money on the pay-per-views, because they don't have house shows yet. All they have is TV tapings and then the pay-per-views. That's where the real income's going to come in.
And that's another uphill battle for them when WWE's offering you a pay-per-view every month for $10.
That's what we're saying.
Because I'm not buying the AEW pay-per-view.
No, well, and why would you? Because we're getting good wrestling from them every single week anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I can find my ways of watching it, or I can fucking just get a highlight.
I'd like to see Jericho versus Cody. And I've been very, very, very critical of Cody. There's still things I think I am critical of Cody. I think that AEW feels like a whole vanity project for him, if I'm being honest.
In a way, yeah.
I think it's his playground where his segment usually is awesome, but nobody else is getting that sort of attention or production or anything like he gets.
Last episode they were in a limo just talking, him and Tony Schiavone.
Yeah, and he made his brother fuck off.
Yeah.
They get out of the plane. They're both going to the building, but Dustin has to fuck off while he rides a little Schiavone. Like, I really don't try to.
I didn't even think about that.
I do. Because then the jumping segment happens to have Dustin separated, but it's like, you guys were going to the fucking building. Why can't he ride along?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No sense.
Yeah, I try not to get too logical watching wrestling. It's not a healthy experience. But
still.
Yeah, it did make a lot of sense.
I like it. You know what I mean? Like, I like seeing that shit. Like,
But there's a lot that's invested in Cody. I mean, it's the main event storyline, so it's fine. I get it. And Jericho has been awesome. I love him.
Oh my God.
Him with that brawl that they had the week prior. I thought was awesome. I loved it. I thought that was the best segment of maybe since it's been on the air.
Yeah.
With Jericho still just crying, I have a ticket. I thought it was great. But so they're putting a lot of effort into that, and that's as they should. That's going to be the top drawing match. Put a lot of effort into Omega versus Moxley. They're telling a story with those two. After that, what do you got? You got the Bucks versus the LAX guys. Okay, so that should be a good tag team match.
Yeah.
Well, motherfuckers, you give us 3 good tag team matches every single week on TV. Like,
that's true. And
you know what I mean?
They just crowned a tag team champion.
Yeah.
So you'll have a tag match, but between who?
SCU and whomever, but even then, so they had I remember that week they had the semifinals. It's the Lucha Brothers versus the Private Party, which the Private Party, especially the darker skinned Mark Quinn, man, I'm a fan of his. I think that guy can go. They hit a lot of cool shit. Awesome. Then the next match is SCU versus Dark Order, which I actually thought was probably a better more standard tag match.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good match. Well, now you just gave me 2 kick-ass tag team matches in a row. So then later on in the show, there's the Young Bucks versus the Best Friends, where it's like, I know the Young Bucks are good. The Best Friends, I'm sure they could do some good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really want to watch it. I'm kind of tapped out on tag wrestling. Like, you've already exhausted
a lot of tag
me.
matches
Yeah.
in a night.
And again, both those opening matches were, 10 minutes or longer. Like, it doesn't not every match has to be 10 minutes plus and 3 or 4 or 5, 6 false finishes. It doesn't have to be that way because you get numb to it.
For sure. It's like kicking out 2 finishers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like after a while, I'm not surprised anymore at all when somebody kicks out of a finisher.
No, because you overkill it. It's not special anymore.
Yeah, it's not a finisher.
And there's the thing is the Young Bucks, as I've said it a bunch of times, if you've never seen a Young Bucks match, you are goddamn in for a treat. If you have seen a Young Bucks match, then you're kind of getting the same thing.
Yeah.
So by the time the Young Bucks come on in the 6th or 7th segment, and there's already been a couple of tag matches before them with a lot of high spots with the Lucha Brothers, Private Party, etc., what do you got to offer me now? And I think that's what they're running into again with a thin roster because they got to be on there every week. There's nobody else.
Yeah, and they're not even like separating tag teams up every now. Like you're not having a singles match with someone from a tag team ever.
No,
like, they have like 4 main. Not even. They don't even have like 4 main pillars because the fucking Young Bucks are a tag team.
Yeah.
So it's like.
And I don't even know how much of a pillar they are.
And John Moxley are really like the 3 main dudes.
With Jericho, of course, as your champion.
Oh, Jericho, yeah. But Jericho's now
awesome
friends
work
with half the other roster.
Yeah, and so you're kind of occupying them all in the same segment.
Yeah.
Which actually brings me another thing. What do you think of Sammy Guevara? What's your opinion on him?
He's good in the ring, but he's like a grinning little shit.
Yeah.
I don't like him. But, like, I don't think he's bad in the ring. I don't think he's that impressive either. I mean, he's ring ability, yeah, whatever. But, like, you're a good heel because I just want to punch you in the face because I don't like you.
Which is a good heel. I mean, it ultimately is a good heel if you want to see him get punched in the face. I don't think he does a good enough job of that, of being a cocky little shit that you just want to see hit.
Yeah, I don't dislike him and want to punch him in the face for anything he's doing or saying. It's just... I don't know, like, he just gives me that cocky little shithead vibe. I don't know.
This is what goes back to it. I really feels a recurring theme where we talk about their talent roster just isn't that deep. Yeah. Because here's a kid that I think is good. I mean, he's good in the ring. Again, he's not the best I've ever seen, but he's good. And he's playing, I mean, as a heel, like you're right. I mean, he's a pretty good heel. And they're pairing with Jericho, which is pretty good pairing. But they're already positioning him as in a main event slot.
He's a kid. He's just a baby.
And he's done nothing to earn that. Like, there's, you know what I mean? Like, I'm turning on for the first time. I don't know who he is. I only know who he is
until they brought him
because
out.
I'm watching him. But now you got him in your main events. No, give that time.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know that they have time, and I don't know if they feel that the roster is deep enough to where they, he would. Like, I feel they have to elevate him. Like they got to get him up there. They like him. He's got a lot of potential. Okay, let's put him right up there with these main event guys. Man, I don't know. I don't think it's a great plan.
That's probably mostly because they don't really have anybody else too. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
they're putting him in a spot that he's probably not ready for, or I just don't think he's the right fit for.
And I think that's a problem because again, that's a guy that probably could be a player for them in the future.
Make him like a 1-2-3 kid. You know
I think he kind of
the
is
little main
maybe
card friend.
Of the X-Pac to their group.
Friend.
Yeah. The annoying little shit. But again, I don't know if this is booking or if he's just not that talented yet. He doesn't really portray that in the ring. Yeah. He should be chicken shit healing a little more. He's smaller. I mean, on a roster that's everybody's small. If you watch him versus Adam Page, he's significantly smaller than Adam Page. Adam Page isn't that big of a guy.
Yeah.
But he should be cowering a little bit, chicken shit a little bit.
I always forget about Adam Page.
Being sly and then being vicious when the time calls for it. He just goes out there like he's a wrestler, like he's right on par with everybody else, and it's like
he's not.
No, and it's just that it's not just Sammy Guevara. I think it's almost the whole promotion where it's everybody. Everybody's just right on par with everybody. Everybody's 50-50.
We're all the shit.
We're all the fucking and when wins and losses matter, that's all there really is that okay, this guy beat this guy, so I guess he's a little bit better. You're not. We talked about this earlier. I think my example was Lucha Brothers and Young Bucks. I'm never really happy because a guy won, or happy or pissed because the bad guy lost or a bad guy won. it just doesn't happen. It's just a match.
Yeah, they're both kind of fan favorites. Like we both love them both.
Everybody's pretty much a babyface there.
Yeah.
I mean, Jericho's doing a great job playing a heel, but he's still Chris Jericho.
It doesn't help that he's in Jay and Silent Bob reboot and he's going all around with like Kevin Smith and being normal, lovable Jericho.
MJF is the best heel character they have, and he's a side player to Cody Rhodes.
He's barely a heel now. He's
kind of being the buddy.
He's the asshole, but he's our asshole.
Yeah, exactly. And if he turns on him, it's going to be like, okay, yeah, we knew you were going to,
Exactly. Not a shocker at all.
So, again, I mean, there's lots of, and I don't feel like this is even nitpicking. I think this is just pretty glaring, obvious weak points that they have going right now. Just to be positive, I think Jericho has been fucking great. Jericho's captivated me every time he's on stage. Le Champion. With his ridiculous ass fucking jack-o'-lantern suit he was wearing. I think Moxley has been entertaining. I want to see what Moxley does next. I do think Omega is awesome. So
Moxley's probably my favorite part. Him and Luchasaurus.
And the Luchasaurus has been hurt. We had to get stuck with a goddamn Marco Stunt match instead.
He's a guy I think they should make a top guy. I think he'd have enough people behind him. He's big and believable. Like,
if you gave him a couple months worth of wins over mid-card guys, looking strong, and then beating a Sammy Guevara in say 10 minutes, to where you can build him up where he is a contender for Jericho. Now you got me.
Yeah.
Because now I'm cheering for him. I'm not, as far as Cody and Jericho goes, I mean, their segments have been very good. I'm not saying they aren't, but where's the intrigue for the match? Like, the match itself is probably going to be good. Yeah. And we're so spoiled anymore in wrestling where every match is pretty fucking good. Like, so just like, oh, that match should be pretty good isn't enough. And then as we talk about the characters, we just said, I would love to see that Luchasaurus build it to where like, oh fuck, he might win. And if Jericho does beat him, I would be pissed.
Yeah.
And Luchasaurus wins, I would be thrilled.
And they got plenty of fodder for storyline. You got Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy. I mean, beat up on them when Luchasaurus is around or something. Pick on that. You know what I mean?
Like, the story kind of tells itself.
Even give yourself a challenge. Make people like Marco Stunt. You know what I mean? Even though it's kind of a tough.
Well, I think Jericho's that good where he could be that brutal and really get sympathy on him. Where you'd be like, beat the shit out of the little guy. Oh man. Oh, that's rough. I think it could be done without being hokey. I think they did they've done some good beatdown scenes already where they could really build the sympathy for a character, instead of it just being cool. There's a guy. I mean, there's a guy that could be built up. MJF is a guy that could definitely be built up. So there is some guys there. It's been 5 weeks, so you've had enough time to where you could say you can iron out some of the mistakes, but they are still new. There's no reason to completely write it off right now. But I do know that I'm less intrigued after week 5 than it was after week 1. It's waning. It's so that's not a good thing, at least where I stand.
It's not. But on the other side of the coin too, like WWE really isn't sucking me in too much better anyway, aside from maybe like NXT, but I can't even say that because I haven't been watching it.
Yeah, and they're pitching it as the Wednesday Night War, whereas the Monday Night War really was. If something wasn't very good on one of the channels, you would just flip it, and maybe there was something better, and now you're stuck with it, and they lost you. It's a different day and age where
you're paying for what you're flipping on and off.
Yeah, exactly, and whether or not you have Hulu, the network, or an internet site or whatever you're doing, you got the availability to watch them both. Again, if I am home,
I can watch them on each screen.
Exactly. If I am home, I'll probably throw on AEW. If I'm not, if I miss it because I'm out or something, Thursday after I get off of work, okay, I'm gonna put it on, and then I'll watch. And then when I see what happened on NXT, I hear there's an awesome Roderick Strong versus Dijak versus Keith Lee match. Yeah, I'll watch that. Yeah. I definitely want to see that. I want to see the Pete Dunne, Punishment Martinez. His name is Damian Christ or something. Damian Priest right now. I heard that was a good match. So like, when I hear there's something great, I can tune in at my own discretion to watch it. So it's not the same as the War era where you really did. If you gave me something bad, I could turn the channel, which I did do though. When I seen Marco fucking Stunt come out.
Of course.
Well, the Luchasaurus was hurt, so I see Marco Stunt come out with Jungle Boy to take on. I think that was. It wasn't SCU. Who did they wrestle in that match? Maybe it was the Lucha Bros. I see that, and I see Marco Stunt being in the match, and I was like, you know what? And I turned it to NXT, where it had Dijak and Keith Lee, and I'm like, okay, I'd rather watch this.
Yeah.
So you do have to be, for the people who really have regular cable still, you have to be careful to not give them shit the bed
Yeah, it's almost
segments, because you can turn it to, not just turn to the channel, but turn it to more wrestling.
It's almost like they need like AEW needs an Eric Bischoff there to like one up them, like know what's gonna happen, like what match is gonna happen while we're doing this match, like know what to have on at the right time to compete with the channel changers. You know what I mean?
And I think ultimately just don't have anything that's going to be insultingly bad.
Yeah.
You know, which NXT doesn't. They have stuff that I like more than others. And they actually have some squash matches. So, you know, you have like a guy that they're going to build up to be a star. Hey, and he's in and out of there in 2-3 minutes before it could bore me, before it could get bad. And this guy looks like a badass now.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. AEW, on the other hand, has all their women's matches are going over 10 minutes, and they're not necessarily good.
No.
So
It's almost like
you'll lose me.
Like it's legitimately filler.
Yeah.
Like that, those matches are as long as they are and go on as long as they are, with as bad as they are, because they just got to fill the time.
Because, you know, that would be easier to write out, right? If we had to fill out, which, you know, without commercials, I know it's probably a little less than this, but let's call it an hour and a half, right? We got to fill out an hour and a half worth of programming. It's way easier to go, well, if this match goes 15 minutes, we'll call it the segment because it's bell entrances. This goes 15, and this one goes 20, and this one goes 20, and this one goes 15. Like, well, you know, and this one goes 20, there, we're done.
Yeah.
Instead of, no, we need you to get in and out of there in 4 or 5 minutes, and then we're going to have a post-match, you know, promo that's going to take 2, and then we're going to go, you know, and then we're going to air a video package on this guy. He's not on the show. We want to air a video package to show that, you know, he's going to be here next week taking on this guy who's in the next match. And again, he goes out and has a 5-minute. Yeah, so now you got to, it's a little tougher to write, where instead of just doing, hey, these are 6-7 things, and they're all 15 minutes long. No, you might need 20 things, and some can still be 10 or 15, but that's going to be more special.
Yeah.
Your main event's, you know, maybe open with a hot match, middle of the show, you know, for the top of the next hour, you know, a good 10, 15-minute match, and then a big main event that you're building towards.
Yeah. Yeah. And fuck it. Like, why can't you have a good, like, 35, 40-minute, like, pay-per-view worthy match on a fucking weekly show every now and then?
Every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, throw it on there just to build up that show. You know, like, fuck, dude, you guys should have saw that match last Wednesday on Dynamite. It was killer.
Yeah, and
Like,
NXT does.
get people
NXT is
talking.
actually doing it.
Exactly,
They're having
like-
the big, and then with SmackDown, which we'll talk about, had the Daniel Bryan Adam Cole match. When you got to the end of the show, I want to see that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere. Like, you got me now.
Yeah.
If you think about the Monday Night Wars when wrestling was at its biggest, that's what they build around the main event. You know, you have an Austin or a Rock segment, or on the other side, an NWO Hogan, you know, segment that would build up to the main event. Well, this is your main event, folks, and we're going to get there at the end of the night. Well, AEW says this is your main event, folks. You're going to get there at the end of the night, and you know it's going to be a good 15-minute match. But then there's 3 or 4 good 15-minute matches before that, so it's not special.
Yeah.
Raw and even Nitro would have, you know, a lot of 3-4 minute matches. They'd have a lot of promo segments. They'd have a lot of other stuff. So then that 15-20 minute final segment felt special.
Yeah.
And that's to be highlighted. And when you're on TV every week, that's you can do that sort of thing.
Yeah. Sometimes less is more.
I think so. I think that's a lesson that AEW needs to learn.
For sure.
Especially as we talked about too, when you're trying to get our pay-per-view dollars. There's just no reason to.
I mean, just so we're not just completely shitting on it, I mean, they do some things well, I think. Like, I think the production value, like we talked about, is tremendous. Their Titantron game is fucking slick. I love those 2 little entrances. This is all, like, cosmetic shit that really has nothing to do with it.
Well, no,
and the wrestling's great.
The wrestling is good. Yeah, the matches are good. There's been besides the women's matches as we talked about.
Yeah.
Can't really think of any men's that have been like stinkers.
No.
You know what I mean? The matches are good. It's just almost a little too much of a good thing.
They're taking risks. They're pushing the limit. They are setting themselves apart. Like, a lot of the stunts and stuff they do differently than you would expect WWE to do. Like,
Sure.
The first appearance you saw of John Moxley, him slamming Kenny Omega through the
glass
floor
coffee table.
or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
or the glass. Oh,
Yeah, it was
that
glass table.
I was talking about
Oh,
way
okay,
back
yeah,
in the
yeah,
day
yeah.
when he like debuted or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he put him through what you thought was just the floor, and it looked like he legitimately went through a piece of floor. Like,
Yeah.
It didn't look like, you didn't see a layer of foam underneath it. They're hitting themselves legitimately in the head. Although I did see Crown Jewel, they did a headshot on Brock Lesnar.
Mysterio did, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he put his hands up and everything. I don't know if it was planned or what, or he was just in the moment or some shit, but I did notice that. But, I mean, AEW, they are kind of keeping up their end of the bargain as we're going to be what you want us to be.
They're dropping shit. They're allowed to say shit on AEW. And they're not overkilling it either. You know, Adam Page did a post-match promo last show where, you know, things haven't been going real well, but I'm about to start doing some real cowboy shit around here. And the fans are chanting cowboy shit like they were, you know, that... If you feel it and you're fired up and it means something, yeah, man, dropping some cussing.
I can just see Ted
really can help.
Yeah, cowboy shit.
Cowboy shit. Yeah, I mean,
on his Buffalo farm.
Take advantage of the fact that if they're allowed to be PG-14 or TV-14 and WWE's PG, take advantage of it.
For sure.
You know, don't do it too much, but you know, they maybe have a match with a little bit of blood right now.
Yeah.
Just to tell a different story. Don't do it again for a few months.
Yeah.
But you know, something different.
Keep it something different, like every now and then. Like,
I think we can agree that they definitely do. They present it both presentation-wise and production-wise. They present it differently, and I think there's a lot of creativity that's different, which is good. But different isn't always better. An Orange Cassidy character is different. And I will say this, I can't remember who the best friends were wrestling, but there's just one spot where he just kind of comes out of nowhere, where he climbs up the rope and does the dive with the hands in the pocket. That made me do a little chuckle, like, because it was so goddamn random. Okay, all right, okay. But then as a whole, like, all right, here's a character that's completely fucking different, unlike anything you've ever seen before. As it stands, I don't like it, but also explain why. Why is this guy, you know, too cool for school that he doesn't give a shit? And he's, you know, because
honestly, I know nothing about him.
You know,
nothing about him.
Yeah, and if you listen to a Jim Cornette where if everything doesn't apply to what would be a real fight, he hates it. But I can't agree that if I'm a contracted professional wrestler, where the idea is these wins and losses matter, right? And you want to win your matches and become a champion and, you know, maybe make more money. What would possess me to go in there and obviously throw kicks that aren't going to hurt you?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's a psychological mind game for him to maybe do that once or twice, and the guy goes to fucking kill him, and then he ducks it, and then he actually hits a really big fucking kick. Okay, maybe now he's luring him in. Like, no, he just kind of does it to do it.
Not only that, but I mean, how do you buy it into any of that? You know what I mean? Especially in a thing where wins and losses matter.
Exactly.
Like, and the opponent, the person losing to someone like that,
doesn't help him at all.
Bullshit.
You're gonna be buried in the sand.
Yeah.
But like you said,
they'd have to constantly be squash matches as people that you don't give a fuck about, or you're just gonna bury someone.
Like you can always explain a character, or you know, or even. A wins and losses matter, and here's, you know, the equivalent of a Kane that's just a monster. Like, well, wins and losses matter, but not for this guy. He just wants to hurt people. That's his. Like, okay, I buy it. Like, I'm with you. But wins and losses matter. So hypothetically, we were all contracted professional wrestlers. We want to win all of our matches. We want to be higher on the card, make more money. Orange Cassidy obviously does not. So why? You know what I mean? There has to be something why, or else it's just making everything else look stupid.
Yeah, they need to tell us more about
just
him.
Something.
Anything, like some sort of origin.
Something, yeah. There's some reason why.
Maybe he got into a car accident and was never the same after that. He just has
everything is in slow motion for him. Yeah. I don't know. Even though that sounds kind of silly what you just said. That's something.
Yeah, that's anything.
Which is more than we have right now.
That's no worse than fucking Kane and his ex-girlfriend at the prom and Triple H. Like,
we had a come to you, and I love that because I'm picturing like Kane at a high school party with his mask on, like cutting a rug. And I had a little too much to drink, and
I don't know if this was for Halloween or what, but I saw somebody dressed up as Kane, had the mask and everything, but then they had a zombie girlfriend too, and they posed for prom photos and shit together.
So Kane and Katie Vick.
But,
we've been on AEW a lot. We both talked about it. I guess we don't
almost
watch
an hour of AEW.
Woo! We don't watch NXT as intently. because we don't have to. I mean, just being honest, we know what we're getting out of that. It's good. And when I do turn it over, it's good. Mauro Ranallo is still a fucking man.
Oh, yeah.
He's the best announcer out of any of these shows.
Every time I watch like any kind of old UFC like compilations and stuff on YouTube and I hear Mauro, I was like, oh, it's Mauro.
Mauro's
one of the
so
last golden voices
good
in pro wrestling.
and he's there calling it, just doing a great job. The Undisputed Era is just an awesome stable. It's everything a heel stable should be.
Yeah.
And we mentioned they do have some squash matches. They have good women's matches. There's a lot to like about NXT right now. But again, it feels less urgent to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh shit.
So what do you want to cover next, man? You want to cover, there was the debut of Fox, the SmackDown on Fox, which and kind of a reboot for Raw as well, which I think it is. It's looking and feeling a little more fresh.
Yeah.
They resplit the rosters again, so I think it's gonna take a little bit because on those hard resets, it takes a little while to kind of build everything back up, and plus they did a hard reset plus a pause to get into Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
The Saudi Arabia shows are always kind of weird because it feels like it's a pause on where they really want to go, but they got to build those shows up enough. The Team Hogan versus Team Flair and things like that.
And they always seem sudden. Like they
Yeah.
start building that up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like they almost kill certain.
Well, they brought in. They killed Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
To do it.
Oh yeah, Kofi's
dead.
He's dead. He's big. He's 6 feet under.
And I don't even think the match itself killed him as much as because he jumped at Brock. Brock just caught him, planted him 1, 2, 3. Okay, to Brock. Okay, but there was never ever the question of, well, what does Kofi do next? Because they brought in Cain Velasquez literally right after that.
Yep.
So nobody cared what Kofi went right back to just smiling along with the New Day.
I mean, I don't blame anybody for not caring at that point. Because what was he doing? Nothing. He was just holding the title.
He was.
Somebody else got it.
He was, and with the Fox deal, which I guess Lesnar's going to be on Raw again, but with the Fox deal, you would assume you'd want, one of the most recognizable, legitimate athletes on top of all that as the champion. Makes a lot of sense.
I think Fox has a hard on for the Fiend, though.
You think so?
They wanted the Fiend. That's why, because everybody was speculating, well, now Raw has, SmackDown has both champs now? That's not going to make any sense. Well, obviously one of them was going somewhere, and I didn't think it was going to be...
They storylined it to make sure Lesnar was, he wants to go over and kill Ray. So.
Yeah. So
Fox has a hard-on for the Fiend character?
I think so. I think they love that guy. I think they think he's their hottest thing going right now.
Let's just go ahead and transition this into talking about, both the Hell in the Cell debacle, I guess is really what it could be called.
That was so bad.
And then what did we just feel on the Fiend altogether? So just start with Hell in the Cell, and as we're watching it, what's your opinion as you watch that go down? Like obviously
the Seth and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah,
thing?
the Seth and Bray Wyatt match itself.
At first, I'm like, okay, this is kind of okay. Where's they gonna go with this? I'm not hating it. Like they're wrestling. I always wondered what the Fiend would be like in the ring, and we had seen him
with Finn Balor. It was the only match that the Fiend has had at SummerSlam.
Yeah. And which didn't not too much happen. If I remember anything, that was fairly quick.
Yeah, which is what it probably should have been.
Yeah.
At that point,
I think at that time too, he hadn't quite figured out what the Fiend character was in the ring. Probably. Not only that, but he was having mask problems and shit. Like on the one Raw or whatever, his shit got botched because his mask broke, and they just laid there and it went black and shit. But the match started out all right. They got the weapons in there. I wasn't hating the match until everything started happening. All this stuff started coming in the ring. Once something misses you and you grab it and put it over you, this is not good anymore.
Yeah.
Something's like that's either bad production with a camera angle or something.
Yeah.
They botched the camera angle too, where you clearly saw that the chair wasn't even on his fucking head when Seth hit him with the shit.
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going with all that, but that's where it all started going downhill. Especially when he grabbed it and put him. I hate seeing that. Them grabbing something and putting it over top of themselves. And it all just broke through the fucking ceiling when they disqualified him for hitting him with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
In a no DQ match.
They booked themselves into a corner.
Yeah.
They booked themselves into a corner.
They were
what they're going to do.
fully aware that they were booking themselves.
Yeah. Oh
into
yeah.
a corner.
Yeah. 100%. We knew there's going to be a screwy finish because you couldn't you couldn't beat the Fiend yet, or else all this didn't mean anything. But
Exactly.
it didn't really feel like it was time for him to win the title, which, I mean, of course, he ended up doing so.
It was a way for him to win and not win.
Yeah, I didn't hate. I don't think I even hate as much as everybody else did, because I at least kind of bought into the idea of Seth Rollins basically being in a real life horror movie, and how do you kill this monster? You know what I mean? Like, that's what it felt like. Like,
No, I
like he
bought
couldn't
the
get
angle.
away from the monster, and like, what can I do to kill the monster? You know,
I bought the angle. It was
the execution
executed
wasn't.
poorly.
Yeah,
Very
I'm with
poorly.
you on that.
Even what they did, if executed correctly, could have worked. Like, the right camera angles. Don't accidentally cut to an angle where you clearly see that Seth is not going to hit him with that sledgehammer.
Right.
Like, if Seth's hitting the chair, it's not hitting Bray Wyatt. The chair wasn't even on Bray Wyatt, but at the right angle, it would have totally appeared that way.
Sure.
They just fucked that up completely.
I think they said they booked themselves in the corner. Not only that match, I think they just booked themselves into a corner, period, because this Fiend character is so fresh. There hasn't been anything like it. So, I mean, since really Bray Wyatt came out in the first place, and it's the same guy completely just reinventing himself, but with the split personality and with this character, it's so you're very, very intrigued to see what he does next, to where they booked themselves in this corner because the first thing he's doing is 20-minute matches. No, just no.
No, yeah, that's a good
It should
point.
be him fucking killing everybody. There's, kill a Heath Slater. Like, I mean, and he's going, he's getting over in the segments and stuff, and taking out the legends with the Mandible Claw. So he's getting over that. But like, no, I mean, and I guess Heath Slater's the bottom of the barrel, but like, somebody's in between. A Ricochet, well, he could afford to come back from it,
Yeah.
where, like, have him beat people in 3-4 minutes for a while and building it to where it is finally against the Seth or whoever the babyface champion is, where how, now we really believe it. Like, man, this guy could be the champion. He cannot be stopped. But it completely killed Seth Rollins, because it should have been Seth. It could, if they did this in 5-6 minutes, Seth is finally fighting back, and he hits that stomp. I got him. Turn around, one no sell finish, done.
Yeah.
That's hitting 15 of your finishes and not stomping. It's just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It goes against everything, every last bit of pro wrestling logic, which rules are made to be broken. You know what I mean? Like, if no selling as a whole, I don't really like, but sometimes you see it where you no sell the finish. Every once in a while, we're like, holy fuck, look at taking 15 finishes on the floor and everything in between. That spits in the face of all logic, and that logic is there for a reason, because it's worked for so long, and this isn't working. The character's still awesome, but in the ring, I mean, I watched all of Crown Jewel, and I thought it was by far the best one they've ever done.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, for sure.
That match was horrible.
Yeah.
It's just because when you hit the finish on the floor and he gets back up, every single match builds to a finish, right? To the finisher. Well, he hits it 3 minutes in on the floor and he gets back up. Well, I don't want to watch anymore.
Yeah.
I just don't. What else are you gonna do now? And they went on and on and on and on and on.
That's a good point. I didn't think of it like that. Like, yeah, because I kind of liked the no selling, but it's gone way too far, especially in that match. He was basically no selling the entire match.
Yeah.
Like, he should have dominated the first good portion of the match. Seth came back for a little bit, then pulled that shit off.
Yeah.
Trying to finish him, and then in the end, not. You know what I mean? That's like, I agree. I also, the lighting thing I think is weird. I think it's cool, but like, give us a little bit more visibility.
It would be cool again for the 3 or 4 minutes of just nonstop action, crash.
Going out in the crowd and shit didn't help either.
Nope. In the Hell in the Cell going on forever. That by the time you're starting to maybe get impatient for other reasons, that the match isn't that great and all the no selling. Well, now the lights on top of it just makes you more anxious. It makes you more annoyed. That's not the emotions you should be feeling in a main event. When you're watching a main event wrestling show, you should be.
For me, it was like watching that one episode of Game of Thrones in the last season where you couldn't see anything going on.
Right? Yeah.
It was so smoky and shit.
Which that was maybe made to make you feel a little more anxious to be with the characters,
Give you I guess that kind of goes along with the Bray Wyatt gimmick, but still, I don't like it.
No.
I already have anxiety. I don't want you to give me more.
No, that's not what we're here for.
Yeah.
Not because that's live entertainment.
Yeah.
It's live entertainment as opposed to watching a program that's trying to really put you into an environment.
In the cage, it was a little easier. Mm-hmm. I mean, you had like an area, you had a backdrop too for the light to reflect off, so you could see a lot more going on in there.
Yeah.
But once they went out into the crowd, that's kind of where it all died for me.
I still think, it's the way they position the Fiend character. And now here's the thing about Bray Wyatt too. I don't think Bray Wyatt has ever been a bad wrestler, but he's also never been known to have 15, 20-minute classics.
No.
And with this character, it's just worse. It's not.
Yeah, he's
the Ultimate
even less
Warrior
capable.
got exposed because as he was building up as a babyface, it was all just bang, 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 crush, 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 destroy you. Well, now all of a sudden you're the heavyweight champion, and he has to wrestle like Hulk Hogan did. Hulk Hogan was really good at taking punishment from the big bad villains and then hulking up, punch, 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 kick, boot, leg drop. He's great at that. So they tried to do the same form with the Warrior, and the Warrior wasn't meant for that. He wasn't meant to go out there for 15 minutes with a guy.
Same with Goldberg.
Goldberg got exposed big time by the time he actually had to have lengthy matches. Wasn't good. They wanted to see you kill him. They wanted to see you spear and jackhammer him. Like, well, you're in the main event, so we got to give you at least 10 plus minutes, right?
Yeah.
We didn't want that. We didn't want 9 less than that. We wanted 1. Well, we wanted a spear and a fucking jackhammer and kicking somebody in the fucking head because that's what Goldberg would do.
You're absolutely right.
And so right now with the Fiend, if he has to be in the ring, we don't want to see a regular wrestling match. And if there's going to be some no selling and stuff like that, it only needs to be a couple minutes worth.
Yeah.
No selling and finishes for 10, 15 minutes. 20 was the Saudi Arabia match. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. The Saudi Arabia, although it probably was the best thing they've done in Saudi Arabia yet, they kind of always overdo it in Saudi Arabia. Always. Look at Tyson Fury and Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
That match should have been done in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
For sure.
You want to get your money's worth, because I'm sure they paid Fury a ton.
Yeah, but
so
a 2-minute good match from Tyson Fury and Braun Strowman is well worth the money.
Sure, and we still look back to the Goldberg-Lesnar match from WrestleMania, not 20, but the one a couple years ago.
Yeah.
As being awesome.
Yeah.
It was 4 minutes.
The final one.
The final one was 4 minutes, all finishers, all nonstop action. Fuck yeah. Exactly what we needed. We don't need there is psychology and just hitting each other with everything you got back and forth like just a slugfest. There is psychology in that. It doesn't need to have lots of ups and downs and hills and drama if it's all good, if it's all direct action. Yeah, Fury and Strowman could have been that. Lesnar and Velasquez was actually, it was 2 minutes. It got in and out of there, but it was an entertaining 2 minutes.
Yeah, honestly, it
controversial
wasn't great.
how much they maybe squashed what Velasquez could be, but I was entertained by the segment itself.
Yeah, okay, especially being put next to the Braun Strowman and Tyson Fury match. The Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar match was surprisingly as good as I thought it was going to be, if not slightly better.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was great, but it was what I thought. I thought they were going to have a hard sparring match, which is basically what they did. And they even the commentators built it well, like saying Cain Velasquez isn't much of a submission guy, but
he's a striker.
They basically set you up for him to be submitted.
Yeah,
it was well
done,
way well executed for it being the first match from Cain Velasquez.
And I knew going in that the Mansoor versus Cesaro match, I knew that'd be good because Cesaro is that guy to take a green kid that has talent. The Mansoor guy has talent. He's not a scrub, but Cesaro could get everything out of him, and then to be in that environment, which Saudi Arabia and everything, the whole shit that went down over there is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But so mostly civilians and stuff to see their hometown, their home country guy. There's never been a Saudi wrestling star like that. It was a big moment. I think the girls was a big moment.
Yeah. Dude. That was actually a really good match too. Like it was a classic wrestling match.
Yep.
And I liked that. I don't know how much I like it really, but I did like that they were both like respectable.
They treated it as a big moment.
Yeah,
Lacey Evans has been a good heel on TV. It wasn't necessary for this. match.
No. Like I was actually very happy with how it went down. Like they made it a historical thing and not a storyline thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Which
it, was
it
very
should
cool.
be. And I mean, they looked like there was women in the crowd with genuine excitement and happiness, to see it.
They're
It was
like,
very well respected by the entire crowd, which really, all of that being said, makes it even more of a shame on all the nonsense that seemed to happen, getting out of the country and things like that.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
I don't know how much you've read, and of course right now it's still kind of speculation, but obviously they didn't get out of the country in time
No.
to get
And
back to the States to film SmackDown.
Then that's why certain things happened on SmackDown.
Which we'll talk about that SmackDown as we get towards Survivor Series, but I mean, they're hearing maybe money issues, and then they're saying that, when you get basically held up hostage in a foreign land, it's an international incident.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah, because
it'll be on. I highly doubt there'll be another show in Saudi Arabia after all of that.
that's pretty fucked up. Because from what I hear, it was a money issue. Vince, that like for some reason, I could be wrong. Don't quote me on this, but I thought they actually hadn't been paid for the last show.
Yeah, something like
And
that. You're gonna give me my fucking money before we do this.
Yeah, and Vince actually held the show for like 45 minutes. It didn't start for 45 minutes. So I don't know what happened in that 45 minutes, but the show eventually started.
Which again, here in the States, no, I'm not going to go back to work until you pay me for the job I just did. That shit happens.
No, for sure.
They're dealing with
Vince is old school.
They're dealing with the foreign government in the Middle East.
They're dealing with a king that is known for
military unrest. Yeah,
doing some fucking crazy shit.
So this is a real life international incident. So you would be at the point now where you can't blame the wrestlers, even though I know they make good money doing these shows.
Yeah, a lot of them were pissed.
A lot of them don't go now because of the things in the unrest and with Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
it's if they came to them again going, hey, we're going to do another show over there in April. There's gonna be a lot of guys be like, no,
yeah,
we almost got stuck there. It was kind of terrifying.
Yeah,
man.
for sure. Then you're right. That's a good way to put it. Like they were kind of being held hostage, dude. In a way, they were
more or less. Whether it was,
I mean, in like a 4-star hotel,
whether it was money or anything else, they were being held there against their will because they wanted to go home.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I wouldn't want to be there.
No,
for any long period of time, even in like a 5-star hotel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, a 5-star hotel, but you're under military.
It's not like you can go out and do shit.
The government's in there. Yeah, their government is the one putting on the show. They're could come and do whatever they want at any point in time. You're not free over there.
No. They're freer than they used to be, but they're still not free.
No. Well, that being said, man, it led to SmackDown, which who knows if there was any anticipation of doing some of this stuff anyways, because Survivor Series is being billed as Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT.
Yeah.
But, with everybody being over there stuck, they had to bring NXT,
they might
pretty much all the notable guys on the roster up.
I didn't realize that that's what they were doing for Survivor. I didn't know that they threw NXT in there.
Yeah.
But now that I know that, it would make me think that they probably did plan on doing something similar, just maybe not this soon.
Not that soon or not as much. I mean, led to an Adam Cole, Daniel Bryan match, which is almost 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Which, again, as we talk about AEW, maybe taking the easy route and booking, this was the necessary route with WWE. Their entire roster is stuck over on the other side of the ocean still.
Yeah, I think that's why it probably happened.
Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan are here. Just let them go half hour,
There's usually a SmackDown on Raw attack of the other show every year.
Right.
So, of course, I thought if I would have known that NXT was involved, I would have assumed that NXT would have done that to one or the other or both shows.
We still might. We got Monday Night Raw tonight.
But they probably didn't plan on doing it Friday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're probably like, fuck it, let's do it tonight.
I mean, there was a Miz TV segment advertised with Bray Wyatt. Obviously didn't happen because, Bray wasn't there. You got Bray beating Seth for the title. You obviously would want him to be on TV. Like, they didn't have the opportunity. But it ended up being a fun show. I mean,
as much as I would have liked to see what Bray Wyatt being on Miz TV would have been like, I liked seeing Ciampa interrupt it.
Sure.
Without a doubt. I was sad to not see Gargano there, though.
That would have been the guy you figured, if they would have brought him in maybe to wrestle Sami Zayn, as opposed to Sami Zayn having that segment, which was still an entertaining segment. Sami's doing a really good job of being a chicken shit heel right now.
Yeah.
And he had Matt Riddle and Keith Lee lay him out, but that would have been a good spot, for having Gargano versus, because both those guys have been known as the heart and souls of NXT, as Sami had said. Sami was. He was the top babyface there. And, of course, he could do that kind of tongue-in-cheek against Gargano.
And Sammy's never been at that level ever again.
No, it is sad because he's so
sad.
stinking good.
I love Sami Zayn for
Huge
so long.
Sami Zayn fan. Me and Josh seen him versus our boy Sean Spears, Ty Dillinger, at the Agora in Cleveland.
Okay.
And the whole crowd in unison was singing the "Oh,
I would have been too.
Oh," like for minutes after the song was done, and then the "Ole Ole" chants were going on, and I mean it was multiple minutes of Sammy just kind of taking it all in. Like, dude was over, very, very, very popular.
For sure. I loved Sammy back in the NXT days.
Yeah, man, he had some awesome stuff in NXT, and the character itself was over. It's a shame how much they're kind of missing, and he's not the only guy they've missed with bringing up. But with what they have going on now, there's no reason why he can't pop up back in NXT.
Yeah,
it's kind of fun in that sense.
If Finn Balor's back there, I wouldn't be surprised if Sami Zayn was back there.
He could go back as a heel or go back as a babyface.
Finn Balor was treated almost as a top guy there. He was a contender for the title a minute. He was the first Universal Champion.
Oh, they brought him in to get the big push.
He did have a couple pushes after that and had title shots. Sure. At least 2 more after that.
Yeah. So him being back at NXT is a big deal, and they have that at their disposal. If for some reason AEW gets incredibly hot, they're just firing all cylinders and they're tripling the ratings of NXT. They could fucking always call John Cena. They could always, Randy Orton could show up one week and RKO Adam Cole and go, oh, fuck.
John Cena would be a shocker, though, because he's like the company man.
Yeah.
Even to this day, he's a company man. So that would be pretty surprising. Randy Orton, though, he's kind of a no bullshit kind of guy. I'd be like, fuck them for a year.
Yeah,
and then go back.
That's true. But, I mean, imagine Adam Cole beating somebody in the main event, celebrating, and Cena's music hits and comes out of the AA, and there might be a Cena versus Adam Cole match down the line.
Yeah.
We're hooked.
See, you know what I want?
You're watching next week to see what John Cena did, and they could do that really anytime they want.
What I would love to see is Luke Harper in AEW and being a fucking monster killer. Just killing motherfuckers. A top guy. I love Luke Harper. Fucking love that guy.
I do too.
And he is like surprisingly better than they let him be. Like when he does pull some stuff off, he does some good shit.
He does it convincingly, yeah. And here's the thing. This is where we got to be careful that they don't turn into the next TNA, because guys from the WWE that aren't being utilized well, like a Luke Harper, could and should want to go to AEW and get paid good money, which they'll get paid better than probably what TNA did. Have national TV exposure, and then hopefully get positioned into a good position to where they're being utilized at their best. But you don't want to have it to where it looks like there's just a bunch of WWF cast-offs.
No, I
like
agree
Ty Dillinger is, which has been on, I think, one episode of the TV show and has been gone.
I'm not impressed.
Because he's not fucking great. Now, this is the thing. I'm not comparing Ty Dillinger to Luke Harper, but if you're in the eyes of a casual fan, where you're going, well, yeah, I know who he was. He was in WWE, and he wasn't very good.
He wasn't anything
Luke
special.
Harper, has gotten more of a run than Ty Dillinger has, but he's still never been positioned as a top guy. So he would have to come. Jack Swagger wasn't either.
No,
Jack Swagger's being positioned more as his legitimate MMA thing than he was for his wrestling run.
Jack Swagger has that on his side. He went and made a name for himself outside.
And they're utilizing that even more so than like, oh, he's a former WWE guy. So they brought in Luke Harper, brought him in correctly. Yeah, that would be awesome for them, and that would have my interest.
Build him up.
But you can't just bring in a guy because they got released or got the end of their contract. They can't just scoop up everybody.
Oh no,
that's what TNA did. They just got everybody. They go, he was in the WWE. Look, and it's like we did. Yeah, we saw him over there, and he's not here anymore.
There's a reason he's not there.
He's not there anymore. Yeah, the guys that are in WWE are better now. I don't really want to watch him.
No,
over
for
here.
sure.
And that's what AEW has to be careful doing. There will be talent available. Don't just bring him in for the sake of bringing him in. I feel like that's what absolutely happened with Sean Spears, Ty Dillinger. It's Cody's friend. He got a job because he's his buddy, and not necessarily, not because. And I'm not gonna say he's untalented, but he didn't get the job because people were excited to see what he does next. It just didn't happen.
He got the job because he was in the right place at the right time, and he buds with the EVP.
A lot of those guys have jobs because they're buds with the EVPs, and that's not great either. Get a job as an enhancement guy or something like that. Sure, yeah, they can get a payday and be those guys to make somebody look good. But just because you're buddies with them doesn't necessarily mean you're a draw going to make them any money.
No, not at all. Not at all. You know who they should hire? Wilbur Whitlock.
Wilbur Whitlock?
Yeah.
He should get in there as creative. I'm telling you. The creative juices are flowing right now. My body doesn't have the bumps in me anymore like these guys are taking. I'll tell you that now.
Well, all right. I guess you'd know better than I.
No, I do. Trust me, I do. My body does. I just had a pretty nice, easy, safe match this last Saturday, and I'm still sore.
Nah.
To keep up the pace that they do, I don't quite have it. But I do. I mean, I know a thing or two about wrestling. I also know about being a fan. I've been a fan my entire life. I can tell you the things that I like and the things that I don't, but I can at least give you a reason why things work and things don't. The AEW isn't immune to it. We're sitting here talking about, with the whole Fiend angle, how many things are going wrong, and including no selling 10, 15 finishers is a reason why you don't do it. This is why. You build to that. Once you've established that's not going to work, well, what the fuck do I care?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll take some of that con money. Give me what the fuck Jim Ross is making, because he ain't helping that fucking product.
No.
Still sucks. You want to get red-assed about that, JR, you can get red-assed about it. You suck right now. You used to be the man... Dude, and here's the thing. Some of that stuff would be hard to promote and put over in a serious fashion. I get it. Yeah. But you can sense Jim Ross being just cranky about dumb shit sometimes.
But yeah, he's kind of the cranky old man at this point. He's definitely got there. Even with the Seth Rollins thing, he's even snapping back. I think Jim Ross 20 years ago would have just been like, whatever, and just went about his life.
A little more diplomatic.
Wouldn't have made a T-shirt.
Not as fun, but a little more diplomatic. Yeah. And it's his job to go out there and put over the product that they're putting on TV, and I don't think he does a great job. I could take Jim Ross money.
I will say this. I don't know if Josh Griffiths is watching or would agree with me on this, but I can't remember. What's it? Justin Roberts?
Yeah, the ring announcer.
He's a little more excited these days. He gets into it a little bit more.
A little bit more.
I think he's watching.
Maybe he might be watching, taking notes and listening.
Ref Aubrey, what's up, girl?
Ref Aubrey's still maybe one of the better parts of that show. Dude, Ref Aubrey is so fucking good.
Like I said, she sells better than the Young Bucks.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not hard. But I
want a poster of her doing that. When she was so shocked at, what was it?
The Paige and Jericho match, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Man, I want a poster of that or something.
Yeah. But Ref Aubrey's one of the best parts of either program right now.
They even chant her name. She comes out.
Yeah.
She should have an entrance, I would think, if she doesn't.
No, if they start making it a thing, then it becomes a thing, and then they can turn against the thing, and then all of a sudden you just lost your...
All of a sudden she's a wrestler. She's probably the best female wrestler on the roster.
It wouldn't be hard either.
Oh, shit. I'd go for it. I go for it.
So how are we feeling, man? How much footage we give these folks this week?
We got just 1 hour and 20, but there's probably a minute or so of
us
Walter
yelling at Walt
barking that I'll probably have to cut out.
Yeah. But that's still not too bad, man. I think we covered quite a bit here. And we'll come back around to it again. It's only been 1 month of AEW, so we'll come back around to it again. Well, there's going to be some fallout from the Saudi Arabia show. It's going to take some more time to get these rosters established for Raw and SmackDown right now. As it stands right now, I don't know about you, it's tough to get excited about Raw or SmackDown. There's just, and again, when they book those Saudi Arabia shows, it feels like it's everything has to stop, get that out of the way.
Yeah,
and then you go back to it.
And sometimes they don't even go back to what they were doing before. They just start all over. So it's almost like a pause.
And they're kind of starting fresh with this, the Survivor Series angle, which I'm intrigued by.
It's a good way to start, I guess.
Yeah, I am intrigued by as it stands. So I'm on board. Again, we kind of broke down and picked out a lot of the flaws, but in reality, it's a very exciting time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, for sure.
Raw and SmackDown both have new coats of paint on them. Even NXT kind of got a little bit of a spruce up, and then you have a brand new promotion out there that there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of good players involved, but there's a lot of work to be done, and it might be. I think it'll be fun to be along for the ride.
No, it's exciting. It's like, imagine if we were this age when the Monday Night Wars were just beginning.
Yeah,
it's hard to compare those two, but
internet and And I know I mentioned this, like when you and I was actually listening to Eric Bischoff's podcast today where they're talking about the Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio match from Halloween Havoc '97. It was so far ahead of its time. There's nothing else like it.
Yeah.
Nowadays we are very spoiled in the sense that we get a lot of spectacular matches on a weekly basis anymore.
You're right. It's
which
a different
is
time.
Cool. So you have to give us something different to keep our interest and to ultimately get our money.
You're right, dude. I mean, when you have this much history at this point, what haven't you seen at this point?
It's difficult. It's an uphill task.
It's almost like you have to reboot matches.
Yeah.
Like what if? Imagine if they decided to just completely recreate the Survivor Series. I think it was Survivor Series. Ladder match between Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels.
It was WrestleMania was the original.
Was it WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was then they had a rematch at SummerSlam. But yeah,
SummerSlam.
Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
The SS. That's what it is. Not to be Nazis or anything. But I knew it was an SS. But it's like they could probably do that.
You
and
could do what's old
half
is new
the
again.
audience wouldn't
Yeah.
even catch it.
Yeah. There is. What's old can be new again. Give one example as we start to wrap up. But a lot of that Southern style wrestling you can look back and you look at the matches and it's just a lot of brawn. It's not necessarily the most exciting, but what was exciting was the level of intensity that made it feel like the feuds were real. And the example that Jim Cornette mentioned was, you wouldn't have to necessarily do this to the T, but what was a really cool angle was there was Ronnie Garvin and Jimmy Garvin, right? And they were the Garvin brothers. Well, Ronnie Garvin was a babyface and Jimmy Garvin was a heel. So they just kind of stayed separate because they didn't necessarily have to be against each other because they were, everybody knew, hey, and they weren't real life, but still the fans well, they are brothers, but one guy is the good guy, one guy is the bad guy. They're not going to fight each other, but one guy's good, one guy's a dick.
Yeah.
Well, Cornette and the Midnight Express threw a fireball at Ronnie Garvin. Yeah, which is a big deal back in those days. So they got the fire, and Jimmy Garvin runs out and be like, what the fuck, man? Because, hey, even though I'm maybe a dickhead and he's a good guy, that's my brother. You lit my brother's face on fire.
Family.
This is fucked up. So then the segment then after had him, instead of just, going to the back going, oh, what happens next? No, you lit my brother on fire. So Jimmy Garvin goes and kicks in the heel locker room door, because back then they had heel and babyface locker rooms.
Yeah.
Kicks in the door. Jim Cornette's sitting in the chair all ha-ha, and Jimmy starts beating the fuck out of him. And all the other heels are going, whoa, because, I guess if all the heels are friends, whoa, no, you got to stop. And Jimmy just can't stop beating the shit out of him because he lit his brother on fire.
Yeah.
Well, now you turned him, which is good. That's how you turn a guy babyface. And that felt fucking real in an era where it's hard to do. It's hard to do. Cody and MJF kind of have to blur those lines, even though MJF he's a heel on TV and Cody's a good guy on TV, but we all know that you guys are best friends because it's social media and everything like that. We could tell that we are. Yeah. So then ultimately it's going to be I turned on you because, just like the Shawn Spears thing was. But it's still a pro wrestling angle.
Yeah.
Still it's very by the numbers pro wrestling. Nothing's really new. Nothing's exciting.
Yeah.
And I think it can be done. I think we got to kind of think outside the box a little bit. My booking philosophy right now, which I'm not booking anything, but if I was, I like the idea of organized chaos, because I feel like a lot of matches and segments are always the same thing where, all right, the heels are beating down the babyface, and more babyfaces running with a chair, and the heels get out of the ring, and the babyface is standing there with that chair. Come on, and we're not going to give them that fight, and that makes sense.
They win without winning.
Yeah, that makes sense. We're not going to maybe give you the fight because we want to see it. But you know what? Why doesn't the babyface just say, "Fuck this shit"? I'm just standing in a ring and you're standing out there. Go out there and start waffling them with the fucking chair. They run away, run after him and hit him a couple times. And then you can have maybe security finally break that up so that you're not giving too much away. I like that AEW segment of Jericho and his guys up in the luxury, but locking the door. Punching it in,
Scarf.
Punching it in, just going, no, I'm going to come up there and fucking fight you. And it didn't last too long, it was enough to be like, no, fuck this shit. I'm going to come up and fight you. I want to fist fight you.
No, that is nice.
That was a great segment.
Yeah.
I don't think they needed to bring all the guys out individually like that. It took a little long to get there. That's nitpicking. But that was a cool segment. That felt different. That felt fun.
For sure. It felt real. It felt
real in an era where it's hard to do so.
Where almost like they were just like, this is what we're going to do. Don't really know how we're going to do it, but just do it.
No, but just get there to where there is a fight, an actual fight, and we'll break it up quick. but we wouldn't get to the point where you're getting to that fight.
Because that's what gives it that chaos to the organ. It's organized. There's an outline.
Organized chaos.
But like the fact that nobody really knows what anybody's gonna do, that's what gives it that chaotic real effect.
Because as we watched the end of that MCW DVD where just everybody ran out of the back to start fighting for no reason, Shasta did that a lot. Yeah. That wasn't organized chaos. That was just chaos. And chaos can be fun, but nothing got accomplished.
Yeah.
There wasn't. It didn't
build anything.
It wasn't the. There was in the middle of it. It wasn't. Oh, Mark. Really fucked over Jarrett out there. We can't wait to see Jarrett kicks Mark's ass. No, that never happened. Yeah. It was just chaos for the sake of being chaos.
Yeah, just a explosive ending.
So yeah. But you which is fun too, but it didn't accomplish anything. So organized chaos, I think, is maybe the direction things need to have. Things need to be exciting. You're never sure what's going to happen next. Because wrestling shows have been kind of in the standard format for the last 20 years or so.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get something like that. That's at least what I'd like to see.
Do you ever think, and I guess we can end it on this because we are kind of getting over there, but do you ever think that if it gets to a point where the business is just dying, even WWE is just, ratings are so low, it's gone from $1 billion company to $1 million company, it's just so bad that they're all just gonna come together and just try to save the business?
If it got to that point, I think so.
Vince, I think Vince would have to die in order for that to happen. I don't know. Vince is pretty forgiving, and I think he'd be willing to swallow his pride to save the business. Well,
in the mid '90s, remember that WWE or WWF at the time did work with ECW. Yeah, they did work along with ECW just so WCW wouldn't get that talent. So Vince, because they were losing.
But that was more of him saving his ass from the competition.
Yeah,
and Vince also liked that ECW basically made them look like the man. Yeah. He liked being seen as the big time.
It would be, for your hypothetical goes, could that happen? I say it could. It's highly unlikely, as WWE they just created their own shit. They created NXT as was supposed to be kind of like their minor leagues, their farm system. No, man, it's WWE indie. And they're putting their WWE spin on all this independent talent. They just did their own thing. They built their own company in the UK. UK wrestling was starting to blow up, and WWE's like, well, we'll just create our own.
For sure.
Created their own big giant women's tournament. They can just do it themselves. So on that hypothetical of, does everybody just get together and you have this big World Series of wrestling? That always sounds awesome. I would like to see it happen with the. Now, AEW have to be established on its own a little longer, but with, Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor and AEW, because Sami Callihan's doing awesome in Impact right now. And, Sammy's a friend of mine, so I might be biased, but he's incredible. He's got his own character. He's still hot television right now, and he's their champion. If he showed up randomly on an AEW episode and pile drove Omega at the end of a show, that would be a buzz. Yeah. It can't happen yet. AEW has to establish itself on its own before they're just bringing in other talents. But that would be a buzz, man. That would be cool. If Omega showed up on Impact right now, it would be a huge buzz for them.
Yeah.
I think that could and should happen in small doses. I think everybody that isn't WWE should help each other out a little bit. And not to get too far off into my own thing, but that's what I want to do for tag team wrestling on the independents right now.
Yeah.
When you're running an independent show, tag wrestling is an expensive venture. If you got 4 good wrestlers, you got to pay them all, and you're only going to get one match out of it. You can make the match a little longer. It's a tag match. It's a more expensive match. Well, so now you got your tag team champions, which right now Seth Allen and myself are. But how do you establish another tag team? That means you have to have another tag team beat a lesser tag team to make them look good to go face the tag champs. So now you're booking a couple tag matches on a show. It's really starting to get expensive. So my idea is, we're not dumb this day and age on the internet, man. We know that there's other independent promotions around. WWE still kind of treats it like there's nobody else, but even then they're kind of acknowledging, but Impact, they will have their tag team champions. Everybody knows for well that Ring of Honor has tag champions and AEW now has tag champions. Yeah. So my mentality is, even on a smaller level than that, is, hey, we're the tag champions here at Mid-Ohio Wrestling. There's good wrestling up in Cleveland. Well, bring that best tag team from Cleveland down for one match. People know who they are.
Yeah, you've talked about this before.
People know who they are. You can look them up on the internet. You can look up their matches, and you can look up ours too, and bring them down here. And then for our promotion, more times than not, we'll probably win. But then on the flip side, we'll go up to Cleveland. We'll go to Mansfield. We'll go to Pittsburgh.
And they've done similar things in more like the more, I guess you can call it indie when it comes to like NWA and New Japan and like, was it Ring of Honor that
was kind of cross promoting
all in or something like that?
Yeah, they helped out. Yeah, NWA did too.
Do that. Like they had a tag team title match in AEW essentially that was the NWA titles.
Yeah, and they were bringing the AAA titles over too.
So it's kind of like they still have that like territory mentality.
Right.
Like why can't that still apply to the big leagues? You know what I mean?
And I think WWE is too big of leagues where they just want to create on their own. We're like, the Raw tag champs are here on SmackDown to challenge our tag champs.
Right.
So they try to do it themselves, but it's kind of hard for us to buy in.
Yeah,
Whereas, I mean, if if a company in Pittsburgh brought me and Seth in and going, well, these guys fucking kick ass over there. They're the tag champs. They've beaten all these tag teams. Look how great these guys are. And then we would let their top tag team beat us.
Yeah.
Because now you're talking about how great we fucking are. And you're going to have we would do the favor for their tag team and make them look good.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, hey, look at our tag champs. These are our tag champs, and they just beat these guys who are fucking awesome. And just do that favor for each other. Is that time? Is that saying it's time?
No.
Where I go my indie wrestling rant? No, we're good.
Reminder.
No, but that kind of goes back to your question. Where could they all link up in the long run? I think they should in small doses. I really do, and make it fun, make it exciting. Get those dream matches.
I mean, if Sony and Marvel can do it, anybody can.
I don't know what any of that means.
Spider-Man, yeah, I know.
It's a thing.
Some people get it, I'm sure.
It's a thing. A lot more people probably do than don't.
Well, I guess I'd say Sony and Disney, not Sony and Marvel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that, man. We gotta leave some more to talk about, right?
Sure.
We have an episode 21.
Yep, yeah, we do. We'll be legal. Maybe we'll drink on that one.
I like it.
All right. I guess don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this current state of wrestling episode. We don't do many of those.
No, for all these new subscribers that seem to really enjoy the old school stuff, so do we. But there's a lot going on with the current product that needed talked about, and hopefully we can get to where this era would be an era we look back on with fond memories, with classic memories, in another 20 years, because I'm sure there'll still be wrestling, and we'll still be talking about it. Maybe not on this platform, but
or maybe on an even better platform,
bigger and wider. But again, we absolutely appreciate all the new subscribers and all our faithful subscribers. Please continue to listen, like, share, subscribe. Man, the subscribes help a ton.
They really do.
Word of mouth helps a ton, man. Just clicking that subscribe button wherever. If you're on Spotify, iTunes, wherever it is, clicking that subscribe button just helps us out a lot. So we appreciate it.
For sure. Again, merch available at, I believe it's teespring.com/store/OWC. If that doesn't work out for you, again, facebook.com/Ohio Wrestlecast. Well, there's a link on there. It should be right up at the top.
Please, man, drop us a line. Let us know something you want to talk about.
For sure.
Want us to talk about if you have a topic in mind. And I really do. I think I'm going to maybe go all in, try to get an Ask Us Anything sort of deal where we can keep it wrestling related, our own personal opinions, stories, etc.
Oh, cool.
I think we'll try to really take some time, get some good questions out there. And,
that's a good idea.
And get an episode of that going, because I enjoy when you and Jeff do it.
Yeah, I would say we do it a lot on Jam.
Yeah, I think we're due for that. So we'll get that out there, compile some questions, and run an episode like that. And
cool.
Really, as I said, the subscriber count is growing. We'll let them ask us some questions.
For sure.
Talk about what they want us to talk about.
You've all been commenting. Don't hesitate to comment. Let us know what you think of the show and any suggestions.
Let us know that iRock and John Thomas sucks. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's always good.
Just be nice to me, though. Now that I said that, they're going to fucking attack me.
Nobody's attacked you yet.
Yeah, give them time.
Yeah.
But all right, I guess with that said, till next time.
Bye, Internet.